At Lynside by Lynside, we harness the power of microorganisms and biotransformation like fermentation in order to cultivate active ingredients, nutritional yeast, but also probiotics coming from yeast or coming from bacteria. We collaborate with nutraceutical and pharmaceutical brands to develop game-changing products in order to benefit human health. And Lynside Pro SCB is a Saccharomyces boulardii, the Saccharomyces boulardii of Lynside by Lynside, registered as a CNCM I3799. And we know that more than 70% of our immune cells are in the gut. And in this sense, it's really important to understand that Saccharomyces boulardii play a key role in supporting the immune system, globally speaking. It's really stable in the digestive tract, really often used in the treatment of diarrhea. It survives with antibiotic treatment. Saccharomyces boulardii is one of the most documented probiotic in terms of substantiation, with more than 75 clinical studies, a lot of studies regarding the support and the balance of microbiota. And in the context of a global pandemic, consumers are looking for efficient and natural solution in order to support their immune health. And in this regard, Saccharomyces boulardii was one of the key solutions and the key answer for them.
Most of the probiotics on the market are bacteria, but this specific yeast demonstrated some probiotics activities with modes of actions that are very different from the widely used probiotics on the market. Against an infection, boulardii can play on two sides. It can directly bind the pathogens and other flush discarded from the gut microbiota, helping to rebalance the microbiota. This phenomenon is supported by secretory IgA release, which is our first line of defense from the immune system. But it can also act on the immune inflammation onset. It may play a role in the activation of the very early stage of the immune response against pathogen. And that could explain why the prophylaxis consumption of boulardii may have an impact against the invasion of pathogens. But boulardii can also have an impact on the resolution phase. During an infection, diarrhea, there is an inflammation onset to fight against the pathogen. But maintaining too high level of inflammatory cytokines can also have an impact on the tissue and degrade them. In several research, it has been demonstrated, whatever the pathogen, that boulardii was able to down-regulate pro-inflammatory cytokines or enhance the production of anti-inflammatory ones just to adjust the response against the pathogen and maintain the tissue in a healthy state.
Lynside Pro SCB is a very specific product and based on the 170 years of experience of the Lynside group. The production of Lynside Pro SCB is in fact a multiplication of a strain, Saccharomyces cerevisiae boulardii, in different steps. The first step is the lab. They have a slant, and the slant is containing only that strain. After some consecutive fermentations, the amount of yeast is increasing by adding nutrients and ingredients as it should be. And of course also a strict follow-up of the process. After we separated the yeast from the water, we extrude the yeast and then dry it in specific dryers. Once this is done, we pack the yeast in vacuum packs. This is done with well-adapted equipment. We do that to protect the yeast from external elements like light, oxygen and water. The way how we are producing Lynside Pro SCB is assuring that we have no genetic deviation, that we have a constant number of CFUs, and that during the complete shelf life of 5 years.